Europe.
Buenos días, mis colegas, y bienvenido a este video. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Martin von Wolfersdorf, co-founder of the Recovered Carbon Black conferences, and I want to talk a little bit about the rCB conference in Barcelona. You might know that we have two forums now. We have the rCB Europe and the rCB Asia, and they are very different forums because the two regions have very different market dynamics. Whereas I see more opportunism and economy driver, a business driver in the Asian region. I see sustainability drivers in the Western world, Europe, but also Americas. And while this year the tire and rubber industries are transforming and they're certainly also interested in economies, they are still working on the ecology. Building supply chains for sustainable materials takes a very, very long time. So it's an ongoing quest. And the Recovered Carbon Black conference is the biggest forum for tire sustainability, tire circularity, and tire recycling. And you might know that from a chemical recycling plant, a pyrolysis plant, the typical products are TPO, tire pyrolysis oil, and recovered carbon black, rCB. And this is where the rCB conference got its name from, because recovered carbon black is the one product that is the most difficult to develop, the most difficult to sell, especially when you don't have the plant yet. So in 23, we were already in Barcelona, also in the Hyatt Regency Tower Hotel, and it was a really nice conference. There were 388 delegates and colleagues in the audience, and it was just a big splash. And I think that was what Tony Wibbler from Boulder Industries led to say at the Carbon Black World Conference in Fort Worth, Texas, that now the Recovered Carbon Black Conference is 4 times bigger than the Carbon Black Conference. Now, Carbon Black World in Fort Worth had about, I think, 150, 160 delegates. So yes, it was a little bit smaller. And yes, maybe the tire industry was missing, or there could have been more tire industry colleagues in that conference. However, we had that wonderful historic moment where Rob Dennis Pelcher from Goodyear inducted Monolith to the carbon black industry by saying that Monolith carbon black is a drop-in solution for Goodyear, replacing standard carbon blacks they use in their tires. Now let's look a little bit about what you can expect. So we'll be in the big hall again. So we are able to accommodate up to 400 colleagues in the audience. We'll have a big expo area. Last time the expo area was really buzzing like a beehive. It was full. There were smaller table stands, but there were also bigger stands from companies like Neumann Esser, Hosokawa, Sturtevant, just to mention a couple of people in the expo room. The agenda is almost set, so Nikki Stevens and the advisory board have done a great job. We're almost ready. We are yet only to confirm the tire keynote. And you know that the tire keynote, of course, will further attract more registrations, more people to our topic and to our conference. So I'm super excited to communicate the tire keynote in the next coming weeks. For now, let me explain you the agenda. The first session will be about the recovered carbon black market overview and industry insights. And I will open the conference with a couple of words on the conference history, about the audience and current mega trends in our rCB industry. Then I will hand over to Paul Eiter from Notch Consulting. And Paul will present about the year in carbon black with a focus on Europe. And then we'll have a tyre keynote. And then we'll have the very important update from Peter Tahar, chair of the ASDM committee D36 Recovered Carbon Black. And I hope Peter has got good news for us with regards to classification and standardization. Then we'll have Gabriel Gomez from the European Recycling Industries Confederation, EURIC, and he will talk about the regulation to tackle illegal end-of-life tire exports. Then we will have a networking break, and you know the networking break is so important to do the business, to talk with and connect with important business contacts. After the networking break, we'll have a presentation from a Portuguese rCB and technology company called BB&G Recycling. Now there's some news about the company ownership around BB&G. I'm very excited to hear the presentation about BB&G's pathway and learnings. And the presenter will be Germano Carrera and Manuel de Sousa Martins. After this presentation, we'll have a speaker panel, which will be led by David Shaw from Tire Industry Research. And in the speaker panel, we'll have Tony Wubler from Boulder Industries. We'll have Pascal Klein from Pyram Innovations. We'll have Robert Harper from CircTech. And we'll have Chris Wroblewski from Contech. After that, we'll have the session Application Developments and Delivery to Market. This session will be chaired by Massimo Cialone, the chief compounder of Hankook Tires. And the first presentation will be by a new consulting colleague, by Dave Abdallah from Abdallah Consulting. And it will be about the tire materials development cycle and how it relates to recovered carbon black. After that, we will have another growing small company from Europe that has developed rCB and that has developed technology and that is now expanding. And that is New Energy. And Victor Vardy will talk about 20 years of challenges and how to resolve those challenges in the tire pyrolysis industry. The following presentation will be by Stefan Hannemann from BASF. And while you might know that BASF in the chem cycle are a buyer of tire pyrolysis oil, and the previous presentations by BASF have been around TPO. This one is about rCB, and BASF has done some research and I think even some IP, some patents. And Stefan Hannemann will talk about rCB purification methods and automotive coatings applications. Very excited. You know that BASF has a coatings division, and it appears that they might use rCB. And then the presentation following will be the industrial revolution of recovered carbon black has begun. I can agree to that. This is a presentation by Dr. Carl Michael Jäger from Infinitaria. You might know Infinitaria is building a big site in Uddevalla based on Scandinavian EnviroSystems technology. The following section is an interesting one. So I've been seeing that by now there are already trade wars for our important feedstock. You might know that for quality control of recovered carbon black, it is very important to control the feedstock. For example, to have a consistent inorganics or ash level. Now, the feedstock is especially required by the big mega projects, which go up to 200,000 tons of end-of-life tire processing capacity. So now there's already trade wars going on. The companies are trying to secure end-of-life tire feedstock for the next decades. This session will be chaired by Dr. Alexander Bowles from Orion. And the first presentation is by Przemysław Zabralski, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Przemysław, from R&D Director from a Recycle Group in Poland. And he will speak about engineering the future of ELT recycling, integrating MTR and pyrolysis requirements. After that, Robert Weibold from Weibold Consulting will present about the sourcing and the future of end-of-life tire feedstock. And the last presentation is by French company Rigon, who have developed automatic technology for sorting of tires. And we'll have Bertrand Thompson presenting about sorting for better recycling. Now we are on day 2, and the chair starting in the morning of day 2 will be Raffaele Di Ronza from Cabot Corporation. And the first session on day 2 is rCB characterization. You might know that on the second day we go a little bit deeper into the rabbit hole of rCB technology. So the first presentation will be by Christoph Robotsky from Comtech, and it's about driving standardization and performance, aligning rCB specifications with industry needs. And the second presentation will be by Jorge Lacayo Pineda from Conti, who is also very active in the ASTM D36 committee. And the topic is Raman spectroscopy, a valuable tool of characterization of recovered carbon black. The next presentation will be by Dr. Joe Hallett, technical lead at Birla Carbon, and it will be about dispersion kinetics of carbonaceous materials in elastomer mixing. Now, this is very interesting. If we don't disperse rCB, the rCB cannot do its work, even not its semi-reinforcing properties if it is not dispersed well. And I've seen this presentation by Joe in the Tire Technology Expo conference in Hanover. It's a brilliant presentation. From the equipment manufacturer Barreis Prüfgerätebau GmbH, Thomas Rauschmann will present about benchmarking the black, unraveling rheological and physical performance in recovered carbon black rubber compound. Now, this is about the test that was developed, I think, largely by Continental, by Jorge. This is about the topic of recovered carbon black rubber activity in green rubber, about the Fourier transformation rheology. Then we'll have a short morning networking refreshment break, and then we'll dive into session 5, TPO, so tire pyrolysis, oil updates and applications. This session will be chaired by Dr. Jorge Lacayo Pineda from Conti. And the first presentation will be by Shane Pearl, CEO and founder of Kira Energy and Alpen Group. And Shane will talk about tire pyrolysis oil update with a focus on supply and demand drivers and market applications. So here we have a consultant colleague that has integrated into the trading. And this is really what gets the business started, what helps recovered carbon black companies to make cash flow. The second presentation in the TPO section will be by Celso Macri, a global marketing and sustainability director of Orion, and he will talk about TPO-derived carbon blacks, so circular carbon blacks. Session 6 will be about technology and R&D updates, and it will be chaired again by Dr. Jorge Lacayo Pineda from Conti, and the first presentation will be by Mark Pender, Senior R&D Manager at Cabot Corporation. And Mark will tell us about Cabot Corporation's upgraded reclaimed carbon technology enables higher loadings in tire carcass applications. We'll have a networking lunch break then, and the following presentation is by Dr. Geoff Fowler, Senior Research Fellow of Imperial College. And we've all seen Alex Bolt presenting in the Recovered Carbon Black conference. and Alex is now working at Orion. I think it's great to see universities engaging in the topic of recovered carbon black. The next presentation is by Richard Moon, Principal Scientist of Avon Protection. You might know Avon Protection as Artis, and Artis for a long time in Europe used to be the go-to lab for recovered carbon black, benchmarking up to 40 recovered carbon blacks. Now, Richard will present about enhancing rubber compounds containing rCB through exploitation of inorganic content. So probably this is about ash reduction and ash leaching. I remember Chris Norris from Murfitts presenting in Amsterdam, our last recovered carbon black conference, about ash as well. It's an important topic, and you might know my personal opinion right now about ash leaching. I haven't really seen industrial ash leaching processes that are efficient, that are also economic. And then I haven't really seen the end users requiring the ash leaching and paying a higher price for such products. But it's very clear if and when recovered carbon black will be already in our tyre feedstock, then we need to reduce the inorganic content of recovered carbon black. Now we have 2 presentations remaining on day 2. And the following presentation will be by Dr. Daniel Kahoff from Neumann Esser Process Technology. And he will present about the company's engineering solutions for recovered carbon black backend. So this is like a turnkey backend that includes milling, metal separation, pin mixing for the pellets, drying of the pellets, sieving of the pellets, and packaging. And the last presentation will be by Arain Lasonder, Application Manager at Hosokawa Micron, a company that also offers full backends for recovered carbon black. And he will talk about rCB powder finishing line, a view on a complete downstream process. And finally, we'll have the closing remarks, which will be done by the chair of the session, Dr. Jorge Lacayo Pineda from Conti, and myself as the conference founder. So I think we have a very compelling agenda, and I'm sure we'll have a great forum again in Barcelona, just like in 2023. This is the place where you should go if you are interested in tire sustainability, tire circularity, tire recycling, recovered carbon black, carbon emission reduction, all these topics, because everybody in the business, tire companies, oil and gas companies, equipment companies, of course, producers of rCB, TPO, also service companies, engineering companies, everybody will be in Barcelona on November 4th, 5th, and 6th. And on November 4th, we'll have a in-person workshop, just like last time, where I will introduce you to rCB and in a smaller forum, reply to important questions on the topic of rCB. And then, of course, we'll have the conference on day 1 on November 5th and day 2 on November 6th. So, see you in Barcelona. If you have not registered yet, I will provide you the link to register. And if you have any questions, please comment on this video, or please, if you don't want a public question, just send me a direct message or send me an email. Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you at the Smithers Recovered Carbon Black Europe Conference in Barcelona. And all the best. Greets from Berlin.
Welcome aboard Recovered Carbon Black Europe.